I killed my best friend with my bare hands the night before her funeral. His blood still warm on my knuckles as I drove home through the rain-slicked streets of Seattle, wondering if the daughter he helped me raise would ever forgive me for avenging the woman we both loved in ways that shattered everything. The cassette tapes arrived like ghosts in the mail 3 days after Elena's body went cold, labeled only with our girl's name in her looping script. But I played them first because I couldn't bear the thought of Lily hearing the truth without me there to catch the pieces when it all fell apart. And in that first crackle of static, Elena's voice whispered a confession that turned my world to ash. She'd framed me for the hit-and-run that ruined my life a decade ago. All to protect the monster who'd been sleeping in our guest room since the day we said, "I do." The rain hammered the roof of our craftsman bungalow like it was trying to drown the city. But down in the basement, the only sound was the hiss of the old cassette player I dug out from a box of forgotten relics. Seattle in December, gray skies bleeding into black nights. The kind of wet that seeps into your bones and stays there, reminding you that nothing ever really dries out in this town. I'd always hated the basement. It smelled like mildew and regret. Shelves sagging under the weight of photo albums we never opened anymore. Tools I'd bought for projects that never got finished. But that night, with Elena's urn still sitting on the mantel upstairs like a goddamn accusation, it felt like the only place left to hide from the condolences piling up on my phone. Lily was asleep in her room, 13 going on 30. Curled under the quilt Elena had sewn by hand during one of her good phases. Our daughter had her mother's eyes, hazel flecked with gold, the kind that could cut through bullshit like a knife through fog. She'd been the one to find the package on the porch that afternoon. A plain brown envelope from some P.O. box in Tacoma. No return address. "Dad, it's for me," she'd said, holding it like it might bite. Her voice cracking on the edge of tears she hadn't let fall since the hospice nurse called it. Cancer. Stage 4. Aggressive as a Seattle winter. 6 months from diagnosis to dirt.
Idinuda.
Told her to open it later. But curiosity, or maybe some buried paternal instinct, had me slipping into her backpack while she showered, pulling out the tapes. 4 of them. Maxell cassettes. The cheap kind from the 90s, wrapped in wax paper and tied with twine. On the first one, in Elena's handwriting, for Lily, "When you're ready."
Love. Mom.
I wasn't ready. But I hit play anyway. The player word to life. That mechanical chunk I'd heard 1,000 times as a kid flipping through my dad's Springsteen bootlegs. Then her voice, clear as if she were sitting shotgun in the truck, laughing at my shitty parking. "Hey,
Kiddo.
if you're hearing this,
I'm gone.
and if your dad's the one playing it first,
Well, tell him I'm sorry.
tell him I love him. But mostly, tell him the truth." A pause. A soft inhale. Like she was steeling herself against the pain that had hollowed her out by the end. "Lily, baby, there are things I did that I can't take back. Things that broke us all. It started with the lie. The kind that grows teeth in the dark." My gut twisted. Lies? Elena and I had built this life on truths. Or so I'd told myself. 20 years married. From the day we met at that dive bar in Belltown, her with her poetry slam fire and me fresh out of the army, nursing a beer and a grudge against the world. We'd fought the good fights against landlords jacking rents, against the system that chewed up vets like me and spat out PTSD-flavored nightmares. She'd been my anchor, the one who pulled me back from the edge after the accident. The hit and run.
Jesus.
That night 10 years ago, when I wrapped my F-150 around a pole on I-5, drunk off my ass on cheap whiskey, thinking I could outrun the ghosts of Fallujah. I'd taken the fall for it. Pleaded guilty to vehicular manslaughter, some poor bastard on a bike. Gone in an instant. 2 years in Walla Walla. Paroled early for good behavior. But the stain never washed off. Lost my job at the mill. Friends scattered like leaves in a gale. Elena stood by me. Raised Lily alone those stretch. Worked double shifts at the coffee shop to keep the lights on. We all make mistakes. Jack, she'd said, holding my hand through the bars. This one's yours. But it's ours too. I'd believed her. Believed it was my screw-up. My penance. The tape crackled. Jack didn't kill that man. Lily. I did. I slammed the stop button, the basement spinning like I'd been sucker-punched. My hands, calloused from years swinging a hammer, now trembling like a junkie's, gripped the edge of the workbench.
No.
Bullshit.
And
behind the wheel? She'd been home that night, asleep with the baby. Or so the story went. Alibi ironclad. Corroborated by our neighbor, old Mrs. Hargrove, who'd seen the lights off by 10. I'd confess because the guilt fit. I'd been blackout drunk earlier, arguing with her about money. Stormed out. It was easier to own it than to drag her down too. Or that's what I'd told myself.
But now?
Her voice echoed in my skull, calm as a confessional. I ejected the tape, stared at it like it was a scorpion. Upstairs.
Lily es door creaked. Nightmares. Probably.
She got them bad since Elena started chemo. Dreams of hospitals and hollow cheeks. I pocketed the cassette, climbed the stairs on numb legs, poured a tumbler of bourbon neat. The good stuff. The bottle we'd saved for our anniversary that never came. Sleep didn't touch me. Dawn broke gray and sodden, the sound fogging the windows like breath on a mirror. Lily shuffled into the kitchen at 7, backpack slung over one shoulder, eyes puffy but determined. School, she mumbled, pouring cereal that turned to mush in milk gone sour overnight. Yeah.
Kid. Drop you on my way to.
Whatever. I didn't have a job anymore. Not since Elena's medical bills ate our savings. Odd gigs, handyman shit for neighbors who pitied the widower. But today I had tapes to burn. She eyed me over her spoon. That package.
Can I have it?
Not yet. Too sharp. I softened. Your mom. She left messages. For when you're older. Let's wait. Okay? Till after the funeral. Funeral was tomorrow. Closed casket. Elena had withered to bones by the end. Skin like parchment over a frame that once danced circles around me at weddings. The wake would be at St. Mary's. Then burial in the Catholic plot her folks had bought back when Reagan was president. Family flying in, her sister from Portland, my brother from Spokane. And him.
Mark.
My best friend since basic training. The one who'd crashed on our couch more times than I could count. The godfather who'd taught Lily to ride a bike and sneak cookies from the jar. Mark. Who I'd called at 2 a.m. last night, voice thick with grief, only to hear him pull up 20 minutes later, rain dripping from his jacket as he clapped me on the back. She was the best of us. Brother. We'd sat on the porch, passing a flask, toasting the woman who'd bridged our broken parts. Him. The slick lawyer with the corner office downtown. Always one step ahead of the DA's office. Defending the guilty, who could pay.
Me.
The blue-collar grunt who'd trade a kidney for a fair shake. Elena loved us both. In her way, him like the brother she never had, me like the fool who deserved her. But as Lily grabbed her coat, something gnawed. The accident. Mark had been there that night, too. At the bar. Pounding shots with me before I peeled out. He'd testified on my behalf. Painted me as a tragic hero haunted by war. Not some reckless killer. Got my sentence shaved. Gratitude? I'd named him Godfather. Let him into our lives like family. I drove her to school in silence. The envelope burning a hole in my glove box. Dropped her at the curb. Watched her vanish into the swarm of hoodies and backpacks. Then, instead of heading home, I pointed the truck toward Tacoma. P.O. Box rental office. Maybe answers there. The clerk, a bored 20-something with neon nails, barely glanced up. Cash only. No names on the boxes.
Sorry.
Dude. Back on the highway. Rain smearing the windshield. I slotted the tape back in. Elena's voice again. Softer now. Laced with that Midwestern lilt she'd never lost from her Iowa roots. It was Mark's idea. Lily. The lie. But I drove the car.
Mark.
The name hit like a freight train. I swerved, tires hydroplaning, heart jackhammering.
No.
Not him. The guy who'd pulled me from the wreck of my post-army life, introduced me to Elena at that poetry night, stood up as best man with a grin that said we got this. The man who'd held Elena's hand in the hospital last month, whispering jokes while I paced the hall. Too chicken shit to watch the chemo drip. But the tape didn't lie. He was drunk. Worse than Jack. Hit the cyclist on purpose, some witness in a case he was defending. A lowlife snitch who'd crossed the wrong client. Mark panicked.
Called me.
I was sober.
Close by.
Swapped cars in the alley behind the bar. Then Jack.
He confessed. Took the blame.
God. It was perfect. Kept Mark clean. Kept our family intact. But it destroyed him. I pulled over at a rest stop. Puked bourbon into the ferns.
Mark.
My brother in arms. The betrayal sank in like wet cement. Deep. Suffocating. Elena. Covering for him. For us.
And me.
The patsy. Rotting in a cell while he climbed the ladder. Toasting successes with single malt and secrets. The rain eased as I wiped my mouth. Resolve hardening. Funeral first. Grieve like a man. Then, payback. But Lily, those tapes were for her. How do you shield a kid from the rot at the core of everything? I drove home. The cassette player silent now. But her words looping endless. By evening, Mark texted, "Wake tomorrow." Need anything? I typed back, "Just you, brother." Deleted it.
Typed, "Yeah."
Bring the truth. That night, I listened to tape 2. Elena's cough rattling like loose change in a tin. Lily, there's more. Mark didn't just owe me for the accident.
We.
It wasn't just friendship. A sob. Muffled. I loved him too. In ways I shouldn't have. The knife twisted deeper. Adultery? With my best friend? The pieces clicked late nights at his office. Consulting on my appeal. The way she'd light up when he walked in. A spark I hadn't seen in years. Rage boiled. Hot and black. But under it,
Grief.
for the woman I'd lost twice over. I didn't sleep. Dawn came. And with it, the hearse waiting in the drive. The church smelled like incense and wet wool, the kind of scent that clings to your coat long after you leave, a reminder that some things you can't shake.
Este.
Mary's was packed. Elena had that effect. Drew people like moths to her flame, even as the cancer dimmed it to embers. I stood at the back in my one black suit, the one from our wedding that hung loose now on my frame. Lily pressed against my side, her small hand fisted in my jacket. She hadn't cried yet. Not in front of anyone. But I felt the tremor in her grip, the silent earthquake building. Father O'Malley droned on about eternal light and merciful God, his Irish brogue thick as peat. I tuned him out, eyes scanning the pews. There was Aunt Carla, Elena's sister, dabbing at her eyes with a lace hanky, whispering to her husband about how Elena fought like a lioness. My brother Tom, slouched in the row behind, nursing a hangover from the red-eye flight, shooting me sympathetic nods. And front and center,
Mark. Head bowed,
shoulders shaking in what looked like sobs. But I knew better now, crocodile tears from a man who'd scripted this whole tragedy. The casket gleamed mahogany under the stained glass glow, lilies piled high. Elena's favorites. Closed lid. Thank Christ, the last time I'd seen her. Tubes snaking everywhere. She'd begged me to remember her as she was laughing in the kitchen. Flour dusted from pie crusts. Lily giggling at our feet. Don't let it change us, Jack, she'd whispered, morphine slurring her words.
Us.
What a joke. We filed out to the graveyard, mist rolling off the sound like smoke from a fresh kill. The plot was on a hill, overlooking the ferries cutting white wakes through the gray. Diggers waited with shovels. But the service dragged, eulogies from Carla about Elena's unbreakable spirit, from Tom about family sticking through the mud. Then Mark stood, clearing his throat, voice steady as a closing argument. Elena was. She was the heart of us all. Fierce. Funny. The one who'd call you on your shit and hug you after. She saved me more times than I deserve, pulled me through the dark after Sarah left. Showed me what grace looks like. His eyes met mine, glistening. And Jack, God.
Man.
She loved you like a storm. Wild and unrelenting. You too. With Lily. You were her world. He choked up then, real or not. And the crowd murmured approval, hands reaching to pat his back. I wanted to lunge, wrap my hands around that neck, squeeze till his lies turned blue. But Lily clung tighter, whispering, Dad, don't. How did she know? Kids sense the fracture lines.
I guess.
So I nodded at Mark when he sat. Mouth thanks. The word ash on my tongue. Gravel crunched underfoot as we lowered her in. The ropes creaked, dirt pattering like hesitant rain. Lily tossed a rose. Stem snapped in her fist. I shoveled the first load, earth heavy as guilt, piling it till the hole swallowed her whole. Amen, the priest said, and it was done.
Elena is. Nay, we take her.
38 years young, boxed and buried. The reception was at our place, neighbors with casseroles, relatives with flasks passed under tables. I played host, numb and nodding, accepting hugs that felt like violations. Lily vanished to her room with Carla.
To rest. Good.
Let her grieve without this circus. Mark cornered me in the kitchen, pouring scotch into mismatched tumblers. To Elena, he toasted, clinking my glass. His eyes searched mine, wary now, like he sensed the shift. To secrets, I said, low enough that the hum of chatter drowned it. He froze, glass halfway to his lips. Jack, you okay, brother? I sipped, the burn steadying me. Found something today. Old tapes. Elena's voice. Singing like a canary. His face didn't crack. But I saw the flicker, jaw tightening. Adam's apple bobbing. Tapes?
Like
Music? Cassettes?
Mark.
The kind where you spill your guts. I leaned in, voice a growl. About accidents. And alibis. And who really wrapped that bike around the median that night? He set his glass down. Deliberate. Glancing at the door. No escape, guests milling. Tom holding court with war stories. Jack. Listen. Whatever she said you hit him. A witness. In your Beamer. Shit-faced on victory scotch after beating that racketeering case. Called her to switch rides. Pin it on me because I was the perfect fall guy, drunk vet with priors from the sandbox. My knuckles whitened on the counter. She covered for you. We covered for you. And you let me rot. Mark's lawyer mask slipped. Just a hair, pale under the tan. Eyes darting like a cornered fox. It wasn't like that. Elena. She wanted to protect Lily. If it came out, the firm, my license, everything we'd built. You were already spiraling. The confession saved face. Got you help. Bullshit. Polished as his loafers. I paid for the appeals. The lawyers. Hell, I footed half the mortgage these last years. Paid off your guilt or bought silence? I stepped closer. Close enough to smell his cologne, sandalwood and deceit. And the affair? Tape 3's a real earful. How long? Mark? While I was inside. Jerking off to conjugals? You fucking my wife in our bed. He flinched, hand half raised like to swear an oath. It was a mistake. One time. After your sentencing. She was wrecked. I was there. But we stopped. Swore it off. She chose you.
Jack.
Always. Liar. The tape had painted it different. Years of stolen moments. Hotel rooms in Tacoma. Whispers in the garage while I mowed the lawn blind. Elena's voice breaking. I loved you both.
Lily.
But love's a thief sometimes. My vision tunneled. Red at the edges. I grabbed his lapel. Slammed him against the fridge. Magnets clattering like spilled teeth. Jack. Tom's voice boomed from the hall. Pulling me back. Guests turning. Murmurs rising. Mark straightened his tie. Smooth as ever. Later, he hissed. Not here. I released him. Chest heaving.
Oh.
We'll talk. Your place. Tonight. He nodded, slipping away into the crowd like smoke. The rest of the afternoon blurred, plates of tuna noodle. Awkward small talk about moving forward. Lily emerged once, pale and polite, thanking folks for the cards. I caught her watching me, eyes sharp. Dad, you look like you saw a ghost. Something like that. Bug. I ruffled her hair. The gesture mechanical. How do you tell a girl her mom's a mosaic of sins? Dusk fell early. Guests thinning. Tom clapped my shoulder on the way out. Call if you need.
Bro.
Elena was gold.
Yeah.
Fool's gold. Lily crashed early.
Exhausted.
I waited till the house ticked silent, then grabbed the keys. Mark's condo overlooked Elliott Bay. High-rise gleam in the gloom. I buzzed up. No answer. Picked the lobby lock with a credit card, old prison trick, and rode the elevator. Stomach churning. Door ajar. Light spilling. Inside. Chaos. Drawers yanked. Papers strewn. A lamp shattered on the Persian rug. Mark. No answer. I stepped over a toppled chair. Heart pounding. Bedroom bed unmade. Suitcase half-packed. Bathroom light on. Door cracked. He was in the tub. Wrists lashed. Water pink as sunset. Eyes glassy. Fixed on the tile. A note taped to the mirror. Jack, I'm sorry. For everything. Tell Lily her godfather loved her. Burn the tapes. Suicide.
Clean.
Lawyerly exit. But as I backed away, phone to 911. Something glinted under the sink. A cassette. Same brand. Labeled the insurance policy. Elena's script again. I pocketed it, numb, as sirens wailed distant. Mark. You scheming prick. Even dead. You flipped the board. Cops came fast. Blue lights fracturing the bay view like shattered ice. I sat on the balcony, tape burning in my pocket, while they processed the scene, uniform snapping photos. The coroner zipping Mark into a bag with the efficiency of a man who'd seen too many self-inflicted goodbyes. Detective Ruiz, a compact Latina with a no bullshit stare, grilled me in the kitchen, notepad flipping. You find him like this?
Yeah. Door open.
Place tossed. He left a note. I nodded at the mirror, her eyes narrowing as she read it aloud. Voice flat. Burn the tapes. What tapes? Mr. Hayes. Old home recordings. Elena, my wife, she made some before she died. For Lily. Half-truth. Slippery as eel. No way I was handing over evidence of a decade-old cover-up. Not with Mark's body cooling 10 feet away.
Ruiz got dead.
Unconvinced. Your best friend slits his wrists, mentions tapes, and you just happen by at midnight? Smells like motive. Motive. I laughed. Bitter. For what?
He was family.
Godfather to my kid. Lies stacked like cordwood. But grief was a hell of a alibi. Widower checking on a buddy deep in the bottle. She bought it enough to let me go. With a card and a warning. Don't leave town. Back home. Lily's light glowed under her door. I knocked soft. Bug, you up?
Yeah.
Muffled. I pushed in. Found her cross-legged on the bed. Headphones on. Staring at the wall. The envelope open beside her. Tape 3 spinning in her Walkman. A relic I'd given her for my army days. Lily. Panic spiked. What did you hear? She pulled off the cans. Eyes red-rimmed but dry. Mom and Uncle Mark.
They
were together.
Before.
When you were gone. Her voice cracked. Small as a child's. She said she was sorry.
To you. To me. Fuck.
I'd failed her already. It's complicated.
Kid.
Grown-up mess. Is that why you went to his house?
Did you?
Hurt him. Accusation hung. Sharp as a blade.
No.
He hurt himself. The words tasted like rust. I sat beside her. Arm around shoulders stiff as boards. Your mom loved us. All of us. But people screw up. Big. She leaned in then, head on my chest. Play the rest? With me? Not tonight.
Tomorrow.
Promise. I kissed her hair. smelled Elena's shampoo, tucked her in, waited till snores came, then retreated to the basement. Bourbon bottle half empty now. Companion for the witching hour. The new tape, insurance slotted in. Elena's voice, weaker, rasping from the chemo haze. If you're hearing this, Mark, you bastard, it means you didn't listen. The accident wasn't the end. Remember the firm? Your partners? The money laundering for the cartel boys. Those consulting fees you funneled through my coffee shop books? I kept receipts. Recordings. Everything. For Lily's sake. If you come after Jack, it all goes public. Blackmail? My wife. Playing hardball? Pride swelled. Twisted with nausea. Elena, the poet barista, moonlighting as a fixer. You think you're untouchable, Mark. But I know about the other girl too, the intern. The payoff. And the threats to that DA who got too close. Jack took the fall once. He won't again. The tape cut to static. Then a conversation, grainy, recorded on a phone hidden in a drawer. Mark's voice, smooth as silk. Elena, baby, delete it. For us. Her laugh.
Cold.
There is no us anymore.
You used me.
Used him. This is insurance for when you flip. Like you always do.
Click. End.
Schemer to the end. Mark. Layering lies on lies. But Elena? She'd anticipated him. Built a fortress of dirt. Cartel ties? Jesus. No wonder he'd offed himself suicide by cop. Or just fear of the feds cracking his empire. I drained the glass. Mind racing. Burn the tapes? Or weaponize them? Dawn brought coffee black as my mood. Lily at the table sketching, dark swirls. A cassette unraveling thread. School, I asked. Voice rough. Called in sick. Defiant. We're listening today. All of it. No arguing that fire. We set up in the living room. Player on the coffee table scarred from toddler sippy cups. Tape 1 recap for her, my confession. The shock paling her face. You went to jail. For her?
For us.
Thought it was me.
Half-lie.
She nodded.
Processing.
Tape 2, the affair. Lily stiffened. Fists balled. She said it was love. Both of you. Tears now. Hot tracks. I pulled her close. Love's messy.
Bug.
Doesn't excuse the hurt. Tape 3. Details. Hotel timestamps. Elena's regret thick as fog. I was weak. Lily. Mark was the thrill. Jack the home. I chose wrong too many times. By tape 4, the endgame, we were wrecked. Huddled on the couch as rain lashed the panes. Elena's voice. Barely a whisper. If it comes to this.
Jack.
Forgive me. Mark will try to spin it, say I was unstable. Cancer talking. But the files are in the safety deposit box. First National. Box 472. Keys in the sugar jar.
Use it.
For Lily. And if he hurts you, end it. Whatever it takes. Hurt me? Too late. Dead man couldn't hurt. But his legacy? The firm. The cartel, shadows creeping. Lily wiped her face. What now?
Dad. Now?
We bury this. Or dig deeper. My phone buzzed Ruiz. Mr.
Hayes.
Need you downtown. Mark's note. Forensics say hesitation marks. Might not be suicide.
Of course. Mark.
The flipper faked his out.
Pinned it on me.
Classic. Rage reignited. Coming. I dropped Lily at Carla's. Her eyes pleading, be careful. Downtown station reeked of stale Joe and despair. Ruiz in interrogation. But casual coffee offered. No cuffs. Talk. Mark was dirty. Elena knew. Tapes prove it. I slid copies across, no originals. Those stayed home. Her brow arched. You held back? For my kid.
Truth.
She listened. Tape whirring. Face hardening at the cartel mentions. This is big.
Hayes.
RICO level. But why fake the suicide? Point at you? Revenge. Or deflection. He knew about the tapes, tried to grab them last night. Maybe. Speculation. But it fit his MO. Lateral lies. Always one step sideways. Ruiz leaned back. We raid the firm tomorrow.
You?
Stay low. And Jack, if you're thinking vigilante. Not me. But I was. Safety deposit box, called. Key jingling in my pocket from the sugar, like a loaded gun. Night fell. Truck rumbling toward the bank. Closed. But I knew a guy, old cellmate. Night guard. Jackie boy. What brings? Old debts. Inside. Box 472. Folders fat with ledgers. USB drives. Photos mark with suited thugs. Bricks of cash in briefcases. And a letter. Elena's hand. Jack, if you read this, I'm gone. Use it wisely. Don't become him. Too late, I pocketed a drive. Left the rest. Home. Lily asleep. I booted my laptop. Files spilling secrets. Wire transfers to shell companies. Hits ordered on snitches. Mark. The golden boy. Rotten core. A knock, sharp, insistent. Door cracked. 2 suits. Cartel ink peeking from cuffs. Mr. Hayes, we need to talk. About your friend. Schemes unfolding. Elena's insurance? Or my noose? The suits didn't knock politely. They shouldered in like they owned the deed. Rain dripping from fedoras that screamed imported muscle, gold chains. Cologne sharp as switchblades. Low-level enforcers. Probably from the Sinaloa crew Mark had lawyered for. Faces pockmarked and expressionless. The kind you'd see in a Scorsese flick, but feel in your nightmares. Hayes, the taller one grunted. Spanish accent thick. Flashing a photo on his phone, me at the condo. Blurred but unmistakable. Time-stamped midnight. You kill him. Lily's door creaked upstairs, footsteps. Panic surged. Kitchen, I hissed. Backing up. Hands raised. Kids here. Talk quiet. They exchanged glances. The short one, scar over his left eye like a dueling mark, holstering the piece he'd drawn casual as a lighter. Familia first.
Good.
We don't want mess. We shuffled to the breakfast nook, table scarred from Elena's bread-making marathons. I poured coffee. Black and bitter.
Stalling.
Mark owed you. Scar I sipped.
Grimaced.
Owed?
He stole.
Washed money clean through his bitch, your wife. Elena. The coffee shop. Her side hustle. I'd chalked up to barista dreams. Ledgers flashed in my mind. Fake invoices for catering. Deposits funneled to offshore. She cooked books. He promise split. Then,
Poof. Dead.
Files gone.
Zuikita, I lied.
Voice steady. Cops got the rest. Liar's eyes narrowed. Cops? Or you? Tall one leaned in, breath like garlic and menace. We know tapes. Elena's gift. Where? Upstairs. Safe in the floorboard with the army medals. But admitting? Death warrant. Burn 'em. After she died. Bluff. Heart-thumping.
They didn't buy it.
Scar-Eye pulled a zip tie from his pocket.
Casual.
Wrong answer. Pendejo. But then Lily's voice. Small from the stairs. Dad? Who's there?
Freeze.
Suits straightened. Mask slipping, humans after all. With daughters somewhere south of the border. Go back to bed. Mija, tall one called. Accent softening. Papa us with friends. She peered down. Nightlight haloing her braids. Uncle Mark's friends? Accusation. Intuition sharp as Elena's pen.
Yeah. Bug.
Go on. She lingered, eyes flicking to the ink on their knuckles, cartel saints, praying mantis style, then vanished.
Door click.
Suits exhaled. Smart girl, Scar-Eye said. We take drive. The USB. From box. Or we come back. For her. Threat landed like a gut punch. Tomorrow. Meet at Alki Beach.
Dawn.
I'll bring it.
Nods.
They slipped out, shadows melting into the downpour. I bolted the door, triple-checked, then woke Lily. Pack a bag. We're going to Aunt Carla's. Why? Alarm in her eyes. Complicated. Trust me. She did. Quiet in the truck as I wove backroads to Portland, radio low on NPR drone. Carla's bungalow glowed welcoming at 3 a.m., her hugging Lily fierce while side-eyeing me. Jack, what's this? Trouble. Old ghosts. I spilled minimal. Mark's mess. Feds incoming. Bad men sniffing. She paled but nodded.
Stay.
As long as. Lily bunked with her cousin. Whispers and giggles filtering through walls. I crashed on the couch. Sleep jagged with dreams. Elena at the wheel. Blood on the dash. Mark laughing from the passenger seat. Dawn hit Portland foggy. Carla's coffee steaming as I booted the laptop. USB files decrypted with a password from Elena's note. LIOSFRSTSDP. Patered. Emails chaining Mark to the cartel. Payoffs to judges. Even a hit list, snitches circled. One name familiar, Ruiz's predecessor. Retired after a fishing accident. Controversial? Hell. This was treason wrapped in torts. I copied it all to a burner cloud. Emailed anonymous to Ruiz. Mark's legacy. Clean house. Then, with a ghost account, old vet hacker buddy. Leaked snippets to the PI. Headlines brewing. Prominent Seattle attorney linked to cartel. Alki Beach at sunup. Olympic mountains purple in the distance. Waves gnawing the shore like doubts. I waited on a bench. USB in a film canister like Cold War spy shit. Burner phone buzzing with cartel confirm. Scar-Eye arrived solo. Trench coat flapping. Drive. Here. Handover smooth. But as he pocketed it, I pressed. Mark set you up. Tapes prove he skimmed. Planned to flip to feds. I twitch. Lies.
Truth.
Check the files. Or I walk with copies. Bluff. Cloud was rigged to wipe if tampered, but he bought the steel in my voice. Tomorrow. We talk more. Or your girl.
Splash. Gone.
I exhaled. Sand gritty under boots. Back to Carla's. Lily sketching again now. Beaches. Canisters half buried. Safe, she asked. For now.
Lie.
Ruiz called mid-drive. Haze? Anonymous tip. Gold. Raids on, firms done by noon. Schadenfreude bitter. Mark's empire crumbling. Partners in cuffs. Headlines screaming betrayal in the boardroom. But the cartel? They'd snake through. Hit back sideways. Portland days blurred, Lily thawing. Carla cooking tamales that tasted like home. Me fielding calls from Tom. Jesus.
Jack.
You tangled in this. Denials. Deflections.
Nights.
I pored over Elena's letter. Words blurring. Don't become him. But if you must. Make it count. Twist came Friday. Burner rang skara. Meet. Pier 86. Tonight. Or Auntie gets visit. Leverage flipped. They had eyes on Carla? I geared up hunting knife from army days. .38 from the safe. Conscience screaming stop. But Lily's face.
Trusting.
No choice. Pier 86. Abandoned warehouse district. Fog thick as soup. Suits waited. 3 now. Tall one holding a duffel. Ransom? Files clean. Scar I demanded. Burn the cloud. We're square. Half true. They toss the bag, cash. Stacks crisp. Hush money. For the girl. Start over. South. Escape?
Tempting.
But as I reached, headlights pierced cop cars. Sirens wailing. Raid? No. Ruiz is unmarked. Her stepping out with SWAT shadows. Freeze. Feds. Chaos. Shots cracked. Scar eye dropping. Tall one bolting for the water. I dove behind crates. .38 barking missed. But cover fire for Ruiz's team. One suit down. The other cuffed. Blood mixing with brine. Ruiz hauled me up.
Cuffs clicking.
You set this up? Insurance. Grin feral. Elena's. She uncuffed. Almost smiling. You're a pain.
Haze.
But useful. Cartels gutted here, thanks to you. Freedom tasted like salt. But back in Seattle. Twist 2. Lily's school called. Kidnapped?
No.
Runaway note. Need space. Love you.
Elle.
Panic clawed. Where? The tapes, her Walkman gone. She'd heard the end. The part Elena saved. Lily? If Jack goes dark.
Run.
He's got his father's temper. My old man, booze and beatings. The reason I'd enlisted young. Elena knew. Feared I'd snap. Controversial? Hell. Revenge or ruin. I hit the road. North to Canada border. Heart shredding. Daughter gone. Wife's ghost laughing. Choose wisely. Border towns bleed into each other like watercolors in the rain. Bellingham's craft brew haze giving way to Vancouver's neon sprawl. All under a sky that promises snow but delivers sleet instead. I drove like a man possessed. The F-150's wipers slapping rhythm like accusations. Elena's voice on loop in my head. Don't become him. Too late. Maybe. Lily's note burned in my pocket. Her looping script a knife twist. I need to think. Mom's tapes. She said you might hurt people. I love you, but I'm scared. Find me when it's over. Scared of me? The words gutted deeper than Mark's betrayal. I'd shielded her from the ugliness, the prison ink fading on my arms, the nightmares that woke me swinging at shadows. But kids see through cracks. And those tapes? They'd pried them wide. I started at the obvious. Her art teacher's studio. A boho hole in the wall near the university. MS. Patel, henna tattooed and perpetually optimistic, shook her head over chamomile tea. Lily? She mentioned a trip. Something about finding her own story. Borrowed my old Polaroid.
Clues thin.
But I tacked a sketch she'd left. Waves crashing a cliff. A figure leaping. Caption jump or fall. Next. The poetry slams Elena used to drag us to. Smoky basements in Gastown, where verses flew like fists. No Lily. But a barista remembered her. Quiet girl. Hazel eyes. Ordered a London fog. Asked about hostels for runaways. Hostels. I hit the streets. Flashing her photo on my phone. Voice hoarse from pleading. 13. Braids. Sketchbook always out. A junkie in a doorway. Eyes milky. Pointed me to the YWCA shelter. Nothing. Hours bled. Sleet turning to slush under tires. By midnight, I crashed at a motel off the 99. Neon vacancy buzzing like flies. Rooms smelled of smoke and regret. Beds sagging as my resolve. I called Carla. She's smart.
Jack.
Give her space. Easy for her to say. Dawn brought a lead. Burner pinged. Anonymous text. Ferry to Victoria. She's on it. Cartel ghost? Or guardian angel? No time to parse. I floored it to Tawasan. Ferry terminal heaving with holiday stragglers despite the date. Christmas lights twinkling ironic in the gray. Boarded last minute. Scanning decks for braids in the crowd. Nothing. But in the cafeteria, a discarded napkin. Ink sketch of a cassette. Unraveling into waves. Lily's hand. Unmistakable. Victoria hit like a postcard from hell. Empress Hotel glowing. But alleys reeking of piss and despair. I pounded pavement. Hostels to coffee shops. Flashing the pic till my throat raw. A librarian at the public archive lit up. The girl? Asked for microfiche on old accidents. Seattle. 2015. Hit and run. Digging her own grave. Or ours. I slumped on a bench by the inner harbor. Gulls wheeling overhead.
Phone dead.
Borrowed a charger from a street vendor. Plugged in, voicemails piling. Ruiz.
Urgent.
Haze.
Call back.
Cartel chatter. They're blaming you for the bust. Hit on your family. Family.
Singular now.
I dialed Lily's burner. The one I'd snuck in her bag months back. Voicemail. Her voice chipper from setup. Leave a message. Unless it's Dad, then make it good. It's good. Bug. I'm in Victoria. Found your sketch.
Come home.
Or meet me. Parliament buildings. Noon. Love you. Hung up. Gut churning. Trust the universe? In this mess? Noon came. Tourists milling under the dome's shadow. No Lily. But an envelope under the wiper, Dad. I'm okay. Read this first. L inside. A printout. News clip from 2015. My mugshot. Plea details. Highlighted. Witness recants. New evidence suggests wrong vehicle.
What?
My confession. Solid then.
But now? Cracks.
Elena's tapes had planted doubt. But this? Someone leaking old files. Mark's firm. Pre-raid purge? Or Elena's insurance? Timed posthumous. Phone buzzed Lily. Dad? You see it?
Yeah.
Where are you? Library. Stay put.
Click.
Minutes later, she emerged from the crowd, backpack slung, eyes wary but fierce. Mom left more. Online. A blog. Anonymous. The Fall Guy's wife. Stories. About the accident. Proof. We hugged fierce. Her bones sharp under flannel. Why run? Scared you'd go after them. The cartel guys. Like Grandpa. Her voice small.
Tape said.
You have rage. I do. But for you, I'd chain it.
Lie?
Partial. We walked the harbor. Her spilling the blog. Elena's posts under pseudonym. Detailing the cover-up. Affair. Cartel ties. She wrote it for me. Clues to find if. If she couldn't. Journalism major in the making. Pride swelled. Cops know.
Some.
But Dad. The twist? Mom didn't just cover for Mark. She killed the cyclist on purpose. He was the snitch, threatening to expose the money wash. Mark chickened. She stepped up. Said it was mercy for all of us. Shock rippled. Elena. Murder? Not accident. Execution. Controversial. Hero or monster? She confessed on tape?
No.
Implied. Sometimes you end the threat to save the innocent. Lily's eyes searched mine. Was I the innocent? You still are. Arm around her. We boarded the ferry back. Salt wind whipping. But peace? Fleeting. Vancouver PD waited at the terminal. Courtesy call from Ruiz. Extradition pending. Cartel wants blood. Yours. Back stateside. Safe house in Tacoma, feds courtesy. Ruiz pulling strings. Lily bunked with books. Me pacing. USB ghosts haunting.
Nights.
We talk, her sketches lightning. Mine darkening. What now, she'd ask. Endgame. Elena's words. Raid 2. Cartel Seattle cell. Dawn strike. I tagged along. Civilian consult. .38 holstered. Breach. Doors splintering. Shouts in Spanglish. Scar-eye cornered in a warehouse. Hands up. Haze. The drive, it was fake. What? Heart stutter. Mark's plant. Real files? He burned them weeks ago. Setup for you. Insurance against Elena's bluff. Flip. Mark. Dead man scheming from grave. Cartel laughed. Your friend?
Snake.
Sold you all.
Cuffs on him.
But victory hollow.
I was the patsy again.
Framed in a frame-up. Lily's blog hit viral that week. The widow's tapes, a family's reckoning. Debates raged. Was Elena victim or villain? Heroic sacrifice or cold killer? Comments split. Feminists hailing her protection. True crime pods decrying vigilante justice.
Me?
I watched from the safe house. Lily's hand in mine. Proud? I asked. Confused. But free. Twist lingering. A final tape. Hidden in the blog code. Elena's voice. Jack, if you hear this, forgive. The cyclist? He was Mark's father. Incestuous rot. I ended the cycle. For Lily. For you. Blood ties? Mark. Avenging patricide through lies? Debatable depths. Rage cooled to embers. Revenge? Pyrrhic. Safe houses aren't sanctuaries. They're cages with better Wi-Fi. Walls thin enough to hear the guards' poker games. Windows barred subtle behind curtains. Ours was a split level in Lakewood. Anonymous suburbia. Feds rotating shifts like it's a 9 to 5. Lily adapted quick, online school. Sketchpad as therapy. Her viral blog morphing from confessional to cautionary tale, drawing emails from podcasters and prosecutors alike.
Dad.
They're calling Mama anti-hero, she'd say, scrolling comments over microwave pizza. Like, justice for Elena trending. I'd grunt. Nursing black coffee. Eyes on the news ticker. Seattle cartel bust yields 14 arrests, but key players elude capture. Scar-Eye flipped fast, singing like a choir boy for reduced time, but the heads ghosted south. Whispers of retaliation simmering. Ruiz visited weekly. Updates terse, leads drying. Stay frosty. Frosty. Lady new understatement.
Me?
I simmered. Mark's final flip. Fake files to torch Elena's bluff. Framing me as the leak, stung like betrayal squared. But the blood tie? Elena's bombshell on that hidden tape. Mark's dad. The cyclist. Oft not in panic but precision. He molested Mark as a kid, she'd whispered. Voice cracking static. Made him the monster. I knew from the letters. When the snitch angle popped. It was poetic.
Jack.
End the poison. Poetic justice? Or matricide by proxy? Debates in my head raged. Forgive her vigilante blade. Or curse the web she wove. Lily leaned absolve. She saved us from worse.
Me?
Split. Like the readers online. Forums fracturing into Team Elena versus betrayed husband. Alliance cracked first with Tom. My brother showed unannounced. Burly frame filling the doorway. Six-pack in hand despite the Fed's no-booze rule. Jackie. We gotta talk. Lily hugged him quick. Vanished to her room. Kids' radar for adult storms. Kitchen table. Beers cracked anyway. Heard the tapes leaked. Whole story.
His eyes.
Same blue as mine.
Hard.
You knew? About Elena and the wheel. After.
Sip. Bitter.
Took the fall blind. He leaned in. Voice low thunder. And Mark? That suicide stunt. Framing you posthumous? Prick deserved worse than you walking away. Worse. Alarm bells. Tom's history, spoke in PD. Dirty badge rumors. The kind that get you early pension or pine box.
Worse.
I tailed those cartel goons. Before the pier. Had a bead on Scar-Eye.
Pause.
Meaningful. Could have ended it clean. You? Vigilante. Laugh hollow. But pieces clicked. Anonymous text to Lily's ferry. The news clip plant. That was you? Feeding leads. Family.
Jack.
Always. Grin wolfish.
But now?
Heads are coming north. For you. Her. Nod to Lily's door. I gotta connect. Off-books crew. Ex-cops.
Clean work.
For a price. Temptation slithered. Fed's protection? Paper shield. But Tom's shadows? Blood price.
No.
We wait. He stood, clapping my shoulder hard. Your call. But blood calls louder. Gun. Taillights fading into dusk. Lily overheard. Of course. Uncle Tom?
He wants to.
Hunt them. Talk big. Do little. Lie to soothe. But sleep evaded. Mind mapping contingencies, escape routes. Burner cash from the duffel. Crack widened with Ruiz. She stormed in next storm. Rain lashing. Face thunder. Your brother's dirty.
Haze.
IA file thicker than your rap sheet. And that anonymous blog push? Traced to his IP. Betrayal bisected.
Tom.
Playing both sides? Leaking to boost his cred. Or sabotage. What now?
Now?
We cut him loose. But cartel chatter. Hit squad inbound. Vancouver plates. 3 heavies. Her eyes softened.
Rare.
Get Lily out. Canada safe. Split decision. I bundled her that night. Feds escorting to the border, blizzard brewing. Wipers frantic. Lily's silent. Sketching ferociously. Fractured mirrors. Figures reaching. Dad, what if Uncle Tom's right? What if we end it? Kid stuff. Real world's gray. But was it? Elena's gray. Killer's mercy. Haunted. Crossed at Peace Arch. Snow blanketing no man's land. Canadian Mounties took over. New safe house in Surrey. Dingy apartment over a faux joint. Smells of lemongrass and fear. Lily settled with hot cocoa. But I slipped out. Borrowed ride to a payphone. Called Tom. You son of a... Easy.
Bro.
Chuckle easy. Just stirring the pot. Cartels biting, scar I named names. Heads rolling soon. Or mine. Ruiz knows.
Pause.
Then flip it. Use me.
We take it together.
For Elena. Alliance reformed. Fractured but fierce. I hung up. Gut churning. Back to the apartment. Lily asleep. Polaroid on the table me. Mid-laugh at the beach last summer. Elena's arm around us. Caption. Before the fall. Heads arrived dawn 2. Snow muffling their approach. SUV black as sin. Plates muddied. I watched from curtains. .38 cold in hand. 3. Leader with priest collar tattoo. Shotgun silhouette on his neck. Enforcers. Cartel saints etched in skin. They breached wrong, picked the faux shop below, thinking us above. Gunfire erupted. Mounties scrambling. I shoved Lily under the bed. Stay. Then downstairs. Chaos blooming. Chef wielding cleaver. Patrons screaming. Blood on the tile. Priest collar cornered in the kitchen. Eyes wild.
Hayes.
Your whore wife started this. Elena ended your boss's game. Shot wide. Warning. He lunged. Knife flashing. Old Marine muscle memory kicked. Disarmed him with a crack to the wrist. Cuffed with apron strings. Waiting for red and blues. But the other 2? Bolted to alley. Snow swallowing. 1 down. Mounties cuffing. Victory partial. Tom called later. Heard the pop. Clean? Enough. Weariness. We're done.
Tom.
No more shadows. Your call. But tone said otherwise. Blood bond unbreakable. Or unhinging. Lily emerged pale. You fought. Protected. Hugged tight. But her eyes, Elena's gold flecks, held judgment. Dad. Mom's tape said forgive. Even them. Controversy incarnate. Forgive killers? Or avenge the avenger? We relocated again. Interior BC. Cabin in the pines. Isolation's embrace. Days blurred to wood chopping. Lily's sketches lightning to loons on lakes. Blog updated. Fractures heal slow. Readers split. Run. Girl. Dads destroy. Versus. Fight back. Legacy lives. Twist 3. Package on the porch. No postmark. Cassette. Unmarked. Played it Mark's voice. Pre-death. Jack. If Elena's gone. Know this. Lily's not yours.
Mine. Test it. Drawer in my desk.
Paternity.
Bum.
Biological betrayal? I smash the player. Shards flying. Lily. Upstairs, my daughter. Blood or bond? Alliance shattered. I drove to Seattle solo. Feds greenlighting for closure. Mark's condo seized, but desk intact in evidence lockup. Ruiz met me, brow arched. What now? Truth. Drawer yielded envelope, DNA swab. Results sealed. Open trembling, 99.9% match. Mark's bluff. Final flip. Relief flooded. Then rage. He planted doubt to break me posthumous. Back to the cabin. Lily waiting. Yours, I said, handing the paper. Tears. Hers and mine. But outside. Tire crunch, Tom's truck. Headlights cutting dark. Heard. Let's finish it.
No.
The real endgame dawned. Forgiveness. Fractured but whole. Pines whisper secrets in the wind. Tall sentinels cloaked in snow. Guarding the cabin like indifferent gods. Our BC hideout was a relic, log walls chinked with regret. Wood stove belching smoke that smelled of sap and second chances. Lily thrived in the quiet, her sketches evolving from chaos to calm. Loons diving. Pines bowing. A family silhouette mending at the edges. The blog simmered down. Controversy cooling to cult status. True crime docs pitching. But she declined. Our story.
Not spectacle. Me?
I chopped wood till blisters burst. .38 stowed, but itch unrelenting. Tom's visit lingered like a bad aftertaste, his truck idling too long. Eyes promising one last ride. Blood calls, he'd said. Mine whispered back, enough. Ruiz's calls tapered, cartel remnants scattered. Scarai's testimony gutting the network. Headlines fading to footnotes. You're clear? Haze. Come home. Home. Seattle's rain-lashed streets. Empty bungalow echoing with ghosts. Tempting. But roots ran deep here now. Tangled in frost. Lily sensed the storm first. Uncle Tom's coming again? Over dinner, venison stew from a neighbor's kill. Her nose wrinkled at the gamey bite.
Yeah.
Thinks he's Robin Hood. Spoon clink. But Hood's a killer. Bug. Not hero. She chewed thoughtful. Mom was both. Killer and savior. Maybe that's us too. Philosophy from a 13-year-old.
Pride.
Terror. Maybe. But we choose different. He arrived at dusk. Snow dusting his boots. Flask glinting. Feds had cleared the perimeter. Family visit, but tension crackled like the fire. Lily hugged quick. Retreated to her loft. Book light glowing. Kitchen again. Whiskey this time, his pour heavy-handed. Jackie. The last head? El Chapo light. Hold in Spokane. My turf. Eyes gleaming. Map unrolled. Routes marked red. Safe houses circled. Cruise ready. We hit dawn. Extract style. Extract? To what? Trial? Sarcasm dripped. Or your pension boost. He bristled. Chair scraping. For Elena. She ended his old man. Blood for blood. Cartel took her shop. Scare her sick.
Cancer stress.
Doc said. New intel? Or manipulation? You knew? About the cyclist, Mark's dad? Nod slow. Confess to me. Years back. After the affair blew. Wanted absolution. Laugh bitter. Gave him rope instead.
Rope.
Tom's cop coat hang him legal. But I said vigilante. And Lily, the paternity plant you're doing? Mark's idea. I delivered.
To test you.
Grin sly. Knew you'd fight for her. Blood or not. Test passed. But trust frayed. We're done.
Tom.
Feds handle it. His face hardened, veins bulging. Feds, they cut deals. Slap wrists. This prick ordered the hit on Ruiz's partner. Your leak inspired.
Lie?
Truth? Come on.
Bro.
One ride. For the family. Family. The word weaponized. I stood. .38 drawn casual from the drawer.
Out.
Betrayal flashed, his hand twitching to hip. Badge forgotten. You threatening kin? Protecting it.
Standoff.
Fire popping. Lily's footsteps overhead creaking warning. Then her voice. Small from the loft. Uncle Tom?
Please.
Go. Deflation. He holstered empty. Back to the door. Your funeral.
Jack.
Call when the wolves come. Snow swallowed his truck. Taillights twin rubies. Peace. Shattered midnight. Gunfire muffled pops. Glass shattering. Lily screamed. I rolled her off the bed. Blanket shield. Stay down. Intruders, too. Silhouettes in the breach. Cartel remnants. Priest collars brothers maybe. Eyes feral in headlamps. Haze. For the boss. Chaos. Shots exchanged. Wood splintering. My .38 barking, one down. Gurgle wet. The other lunged. Knife arcing. Tom's training kicked.
Sidestep.
Elbow to throat.
Crunch.
He dropped. Twitching. Feds swarmed late. Sirens distant. Lily huddled. Blood speck on her cheek, not hers. Dad. Over. But was it? Bodies bagged. Ruiz on scene by chopper. Tip off. Anonymous. Tom.
Nod.
He'd watched. Waited. Alliance twisted to guardian. Said wolves come. He herded em here. She sighed. Complicated family.
Dawn broke bloody.
Snow pink. Cleanup crews came. Cabin condemned. Relocation. Back to Seattle. Feds footing a condo downtown. High-rise irony. Mark's old haunt. Lily enrolled local. Therapy sessions booked. Blog finale. Pines and payback. Closing the circle. Readers rioted. Heroes end. Versus. Cycle of violence wins. Tom visited once. Post-interrogation. IA cleared him. Good shoot on a tail.
Told you.
Class firm. Family sticks.
Yeah.
Forgiveness tentative. But the real reckoning? Mirror mornings. Stubble graying. Elena's urn on the shelf. Chose different, I whispered. Vigilante, no more. Lily caught me once. Arms wrapping. You did. For me. Climax crested subtle, no blaze. But burn. Cartel head nabbed in Mexico. Extradited. Testimonies sealing the web. Headlines. Widowers tapes topple empire. Controversy peaked. Congressional hearings on citizen journalism. Elena lionized. Vilified. Twist 4 brewed slow. Lily's DNA curiosity. Home kit. Results mailing.
Just to know, she said.
Envelope came.
Sealed.
We opened together. 50% match to Elena. 0% to Mark. But to me, 99.9%. Wait, Mark's test faked.
But mine?
I'd assumed. The affair timelines. Elena's whispers.
Dad.
Her eyes wide.
You're.
Adopted. Papers tumbled. Army records.
Sealed file.
Foundling. 70s orphanage. Hayes family claim unblooded but unbreakable. Biological blank. But father? Undeniable. Debate ignited. Nature versus nurture. Blood versus
Bond.
online frenzy. Ultimate betrayal or beautiful lie. I laughed. First reel in months. Doesn't change shit. Bug. You're mine. Ending hovered. Happy fracture. Tragic mend. We walked the market. Salmon smoking. Gulls crying. Elena's ghost smiled. Chose wisely. Wolves slain. Pines echoed. Seattle spring uncoils slow. A hesitant bloom after winter's strangle. Cherry blossoms tentative against the sound slate. Fairies cutting wakes like sighs of relief. The condo's penthouse perch overlooked it all. Floor-to-ceiling glass framing the city that tried to break us. Now humbled in our gaze. Feds cut the cord end of March. Case closed with a plaque, contributing witness. No fanfare. Just a handshake from Ruiz over bad station coffee. Stay straight. Hayes. World needs more like you, reluctant heroes. Hero? The word chafed. Ill fit as my old suit. Lily scoffed at it too. Her blog archived. Final post a mic drop. Forgiveness isn't clean, it's the scars that tell the story. Subscribers mourn the end. Petitions for sequels ignored. She dove into high school, AP Art, debate club. A crush on a barista kid with tattoos that didn't scream cartel. Normalcy. Fragile as eggshell.
Me?
Handyman gigs ramped. Fixing what others broke, leaky roofs. Shattered trusts. Therapy, twice weekly. Unpacking the rage like old ammo crates. Fallujah flashes. Prison echoes. Elena's confessions. You're not your father, the shrink droned. Seattle liberal with a man bun. Or your ghosts. Progress? Incremental. Nights. I'd play Springsteen low. Harmonica wailing like lost souls. Lily joining for choruses till she crashed. Tom thawed the ice gradual. Barbecues at his place. Ribs smoking. Beers flowing sans agendas. Proud of you. Jackie, he'd grunt. Flipping burgers. Lily giggling at his dad jokes. No mention of pines or pistols. But the bond mended. Scar tissue strong. Carla visited Summers. Lily's second mom. Baking pies that tasted of Portland rain. Family. Reknit crooked but holding. The twist's afterglow lingered. DNA revelation, a quiet earthquake. Adopted. Hayes blood diluted. But the name stuck like gum to shoe. Stubborn. I'd traced the orphanage records. Yellowed files in a Spokane basement. Infant male. Abandoned. 1977. Placed with John and Mary Hayes. No bio parents. Just a note pinned to the blanket. Call him Jack. For the river. Poetic. Elena would have loved it, naming for currents that carry you home. Lily teased. River rat to revenge daddy. Story writes itself. But her eyes held wonder. Not wound. We road-tripped the Columbia that July. Rafting whitewater. Her whoops echoing as we plunged. This you? She yelled over roar. The Jack part.
Yeah.
Bug. Wild and wet. Laughter free. First unshadowed. Controversy crested fall. Docuseries dropped. Tapes of treason. Netflix polish on our grit. Elena center stage. Interviews with us optional. We passed, but clips surfaced. Old footage of her slams. Voice fiery. Betrayal's the American dream. Swallow it. Spit it back. Ratings soared. Panels debating, was she monster or martyr? Social split. Elena was right, trending blue states. Red counties crying vigilante menace. Protests at the studio. Fistfights in comments. Lily watched one. Popcorn in hand. They're arguing our mess.
Kinda cool.
Cool? We're the punchline.
Nah.
The plot twist. Wisdom beyond years. Climax revisited in dreams. Pine's gunfire. Mark's noose. Elena's will spin. Woke sweating. But now with answers. No one's all right or wrong. Mark. Molested monster turned manipulator. Pity laced the hate. Elena. Lover killer. Her mercy, a blade double-edged.
Me?
Patsy turned avenger. Hands stained but soul scrubbed. Final hook, a letter. Unmarked. Slipped under the door Halloween Eve. Elena's script, impossible. But ink fresh. Jack, if time's a river, swim it. Lily's the current. Love always. Forgery? Ghost? I burned it in the sink. Flames dancing blue. Ashes swirled down drain. Lily found the char. Mom, us. Arm around. All of us.
Ending?
No tidy bow, life's you. Tense threads fraying eternal.
Happy?
In snippets. Lily's graduation cap toss. Her art show sellout. My first clean year sober.
Be geek.
Echoes. Mark's shadow in stranger's eyes. Cartels whisper in night winds. The grave I never visited. We scattered Elena's ashes off Alki solstice. Urn emptied to waves. Lily reading her poem. Cassettes unwind. Truths tangle free / betrayals not. Love's wild sea / forgive the storm. Sail the debris. Gulls wield approval. I added silent, forgiven. River runs on. We float. Scarred but buoyant.